Hi all, this is Steve Miley, the market chartist on behalf of forextraders.com, and we're now going to take a look at both the pound, the British pound versus the US currency, US dollar, and also the Canadian dollar versus the US dollar. With both these currencies, British pound and Canadian dollar, suffering significant losses broadly across G10 currencies, but also particularly versus the US currency, which remains relatively firm within the G10 space. So this plunge lower cable, the pound versus the US dollar, daily chart here, plunging lower since the end of December, and a significant acceleration over the last week in here, taking out psychological support of 145.00 and having pushed down below. If we go to the weekly chart initially through this 145.66 low in here from last year, but more importantly, if we go to a monthly chart now, we're down through this 30-year trend line that comes from 1985, went down through that, and we're approaching this 2010 low at 142.29. A break there will then open up psychological 140 support for Q1 and maybe as deep as 135.04. For the Canadian dollar, similarly bullish tendencies for the US dollar versus the Canadian dollar remaining bearish. The acceleration again from the Christmas holiday period, but particularly from the beginning of the year and then at the end of last week, surging dollar CAD higher. And then if we go into this bigger picture chart, we wiped out resistances here at 140.30, 141.90. Last week took out the psychological 145 level. Now getting close to this long-term retracement level at 146.60, and real potential now into Q1, maybe even January, for these peaks here at 149.41, 149.58 from back in 2003, and maybe up to the psychological 150 level. This has been Steve Miley, the market chartist on behalf of forextraders.com, and I wish you a great trading